Initializing Ethereum protocol. Establishing link to Cloud Citadel. Welcome, Alita Army. You stand at the threshold of quantum consciousness.
Okay, hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of April the 3rd, 2026. Mars Chronicles, Chapter 27, Thus Sang Elton John. And I hope you guys know who Elton John was, or is. He's still alive. Where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, Creek Indian from Denver, Colorado, and going from top to bottom there, or next to the top to bottom, we have from north of Philadelphia, PA, we have Chaos Nova. How's it going, Chaos?
He must be otherwise occupied.
Yeah, he's occupied, I guess, with some
He's got youngins running around, so.
That's right.
All right, I'm here.
Oh, okay, gotcha. How are things north of Philly there, Chaos?
It's okay. I got back from just going out of town for a little bit because it's the children's vacation time this week.
Yeah. Cool. So Lee Lemon from Fountain, Colorado. How's it going?
Well, it's going pretty good.
Cool. Yeah, we got pretty good weather here in Colorado, don't we, Lee?
It's kind of up and down. It's been getting close to freezing last couple of nights, but it gets up into
right. It's
20s Celsius. Although
yeah.
It's not right now. It's like 13 degrees Celsius right now.
Yeah, that's right. So, well, here it's, 52 degrees Fahrenheit here in Denver. So you guys must have a weird thing going on there. I guess. Well, no, 13's around 50, isn't it? I guess.
Around about there. Yeah.
Yeah,
somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah. All right, well, it's good to have you guys on board. I see we got AKA out there, so that's pretty good. Looks like we got a couple other folks out there that are kind of just watching, and that's okay as well. Anyway, to get right to it, we still got the LA Fires fundraiser going on. We really want to help these folks. Every dime of this money goes to the greater good charity. We've raised $1,700 so much, which, is not a whole lot, but I'll tell you, every penny helps, in terms of helping these folks, because they had like 6,800 homes either destroyed or damaged in that fire, particularly in the Pacific Palisades community. So that was pretty bad, So anyway, there you see the link below the image on the screen. That link, you click on it. It's down, by the way. You click on it down in the description, and it'll take you to the website, and you can click on Donate Now, and and no amount's too small. If you're a little concerned about your personal information, or like your name as an example, getting out on the internet, you can either do like Lee Lemon or like Alita Rave did, and they specified anonymous. That way, they can keep their names secret, and or you can use your internet handle if you want. Lottie did that. He put Lottie 99, I think, in his name, and of course, Angelus and I, we don't really care about our name being out there or not, so we just put our names. But any one of the three options you have, you can enter that. And once you do donate, you'll see a list of names come up of recent donors, and your name will pop up there, or anonymous, or your internet handle will pop up. So if you can, you got a few dimes or a few dollars, dineros, a few pounds or euros or whatever. We would sure help. It would sure help to help, for those folks there in LA. We also got the Alita sequel petition still going, and I think we've added like 4 since last week. That's not a whole lot, but it does. It for a while there, for about 3 weeks or 2 weeks, it was kind of hit a plateau. But now I think we're maybe starting to add a little bit more. This is our way of kind of reminding Disney that and letting them know that there are a lot of people that want to have a sequel. And if you're like Lee and Chaos and I, you want to have more than one sequel, of course.
Oh, yes.
We definitely do.
Definitely.
But anyway, there's a link below the image on the screen, which is down in the description. You click on it, takes you to the website. Now, you do have to enter your name and email there to sign the petition, but you can specify that your name and your email address be anonymous, because when you do sign the petition, a list of names will come up. And of course, if you've entered your name and you didn't specify anonymous, then you can do that as well. Now, I don't know if you can enter your internet address or internet handle. You probably could. I guess if Lottie signed the petition, he may have put Lottie 99 there as well, and put his email address in there. So, but the thing of it is, though, if you do put that in there and you don't specify anonymous, then it's possible your email address could get out there. I'm not sure about that. So you can always protect your name by specifying anonymous. And we still have Rosa's Queen Studios bust of Alita. It's still in the box there, sitting in my house. Anytime she's ready for it, when she lets us know, we'll get this to her any way she wants us to get this to her. If she wants me to drive that thing down there, down to LA, I will do that. All I will say, if she says, Creek, can you drive this down there? I will say, yes, my queen, I'll drive it down there. And of course, when that happens, Angelus will probably fly all the way from Australia to kind of accompany me down there, So, but we will do it any way she wants. She does want it. I know when I told her that we had this bus for her when I saw her at the Pasadena Playhouse, she was really excited about it. Or not, I wouldn't say, well, yeah, excited, but pleased, that we had this. She didn't know we had it for a long time, and then the second time I saw her, she told me she wanted it. So now we did bring it gently. We didn't bring it up to her when we were there in London to see her at the play at the Harold Pinter Theater. We did give her some gifts, some relatively small gifts. We did give her a necklace, which she seemed to really enjoy that. But one of the things we did give her was this image you see on the screen here. And it had my contact information on it, but of course she already had that. But we don't want to push her on this. I mean, anytime she's ready, we'll get it to her. And we still got the Alita Gaming Network going on. And, I think last time I checked, which was late last week, or no, earlier this week, there was like 54 members of the gaming network. And, several things you can do here once you become a member. By the way, to do that, you click on that link you see below that Chibi Alita mascot we use, and that'll take you to Discord. Now, if you don't have a Discord username, Discord will prompt you to get one, but you can select the basic service, which is free. You don't have to pay anything for it. And once you get that, then you'll get the invite to join the network. And then, of course, you click on that, and then you'll get into the network, and a bunch of people in the network will welcome you with those cute little animated GIFs that pop up, and that kind of thing. And then you can do a lot of stuff with this network. For instance, if you do any kind of live streams, I know Chaos there, he does some live streams from time to time. You can put that in the live streams channel.
Yeah. I'm working on trying to figure out a time for it. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know on the board.
Yeah, it's pretty wide open, like that. You don't need my permission to do posting here, Now that said, I do watch it, to make sure, that nothing untoward or inappropriate gets put in there, but the Alita Army's been pretty respectful. I've never had one incident of anybody putting anything inappropriate in the gaming network. We're all just doing this for fun. None of us in the Alita Army make any money on this. This is all free and available to any Alita Army member that wants to join. We do have like a fan fiction, channel. I know Lee. He has posted his fan fiction in there. Max Tack Jirai has put his fan fiction in there. I know Channel Does Not Exist has several fanfic shorts in there, and then Panini Freak has got a fanfic in there. I've got a fanfic in there. And if you want to read new content on Alita, then you can go to the fan fiction channel and read it, even though it's not canon. It's still, another story about Alita, and you can kind of enjoy that. If you do artwork or you do videos, you can post that in the user creations channel. You can either post the actual content in there. Now, there is a size limitation there. I'm not sure what it is, but for instance, if you do a video and it's a long video, you're probably going to have to put the link or post the link in the user creations channel. We have an off-topic channel, which is basically anything that's not really Alita related. And, we kind of, watch out for any politics in here, although some politics which are not too explicit, I might allow in there.
Here, I would say I could make an exception if it has to do with what could get this movie made.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I know. I thought about it, and I was getting in this really dumb argument, and you reminded me, and I'm thankful that you did. You reminded me that wasn't representing the fandom in a good way, and thank you. And I thought about it, and I realized, yes, if it has to do with what gets this movie released, I can make an exception.
Yeah, that kind of politics I have no problem putting in there or leaving in there, But
just remember to everyone that you're representing the fandom, whether you want to or not.
Yeah, that's right. So and that's why I do keep an eye on this. Anything that's overtly political about Democrats or Republicans or conservatives or liberals or labor, or something like that, labor being in the UK, that is, and Australia too, I think, I'm going to delete that stuff right out of there, because I don't want that in there, and I think everybody on the stream here knows my political leanings, but I do not let that interfere or get entangled in anything with Alita, because I want, I just kind of want to keep Alita separated from that. But anyway, you can put a lot of stuff in the off-topic channel, and we'll keep an eye on it. We have 3 voice channels that are kind of like those services, GoToMeeting or Microsoft Teams or Zoom or something like this. You can. None of these 3 channels are streamed. Only the people that are in the gaming network have access to these 3 channels. And if you want to get into one of these voice channels and just start talking to other gaming network members, and you get in there, you can invite some of them in there and you can just talk. You don't have to turn your camera on. You can do some neat things like share your screen. If you want to play a game, you don't have to do that in the gaming channel. You can do it in any one of the 3 channels you see there, and you just basically get in there and start talking, and just chatting with other Alita gaming network members. We also have a watch party channel, and basically you can do watch parties too if you want to, and you don't need my permission to do this. I think the last watch party we had, Lee and Maxie and I watched Murderbot, in the watch party channel, which is not, it's not really Alita, but it's kind of similar to Alita in a lot of ways. I guess the titular character, not titular, but the main character in there is a robot, isn't he, Lee, or an android, I think?
More like an android, I guess. He's kind of a cyborg in the way that the Terminators are cyborgs.
Yeah.
Sort of. He's like a combination of mechanical and biological tissue.
Yeah. Well, anyway, last Sunday, I guess, we wrapped up the 10th episode. Was it the 8th or the 10th episode? I don't recall.
I think it was the 10th.
Yeah, the last episode. And we ended up watching that, and that was real good. And I think they're going to do a season 2, aren't they, Lee?
That's what Maxie was saying, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a real enjoyable series. So, if you want to get on there and watch Murderbot, then of course you can do it yourself, or you can ask me to do it or whatever. If I have time, I'll do it. Now, I have done some watch parties in there myself. I know we've watched Alita Battle Angel 3 times. We've watched Chariot, which is our Queen Rose's in that. We also watched Good Crazy, which was a short, that she did. I guess Robert Rodriguez helped her with it, and that was really neat. I really enjoyed that a lot. We also watched that Star Trek short she did. We've watched that 3 or 4 times, and that's kind of a hilarious, kind of little comedic thing, going on there, where she plays a Starfleet captain of a research vessel, So that was a lot of fun watching that. We've also watched an anime and a live action versions of Ghost in the Shell, the live action version being with Scarlett Johansson, and of course the anime version. And one time we even watched Rollerball in there, because that's kind of like Motorball in a lot of ways, that old James Caan movie, which I forget who all was on there, but
Rollerball.
Yeah, it was a 1973 flick.
Yeah, he got a little salute from Alita.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, we had like 4 or 5 people watch. I guess Angelus was on there, Maxie, I think. I can't. And Mate Lee, you might have been in there on that. I'm not sure, but
I'm not sure if I was there for the rollerball one.
Yeah, but anyway, we had like 3 or 4 folks in there, and they enjoyed that. Even though it's an old movie, it's still pretty neat. It's very much like Motorball, in a lot of ways, except it's played by humans and not, cyborgs, that kind of thing. So anyway, if you want to have a little fun with this, join us on it. Just click on that link and then get in there and start having fun with us on that. All right, guys, any thought about any one of those items that we just went over?
I did a couple streams of Surrounded on the gaming channel.
Oh,
or the
cool.
gaming network thing.
You want to describe them a little bit, or?
Well, Surrounded is one of those games I got off Steam. It's a low polygon sort of zombie survival game. It's made by a one-man studio who's done really good work with it. It's a little game. It's only about 3 gigs on my hard drive, and it's got a nice big map to explore and all kinds of stuff you can craft, bases you can build, vehicles you can find and restore and run around in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Not really related to Alita, but
yeah. I'm not a big gamer myself. I mean, there's a couple of games I played. Age of Empires, I played that. I haven't played that for a long time, but that's a game. Well, I don't know if you know Age of Empires. It's kind of a role-playing game.
I've heard of it.
Yeah,
it's like an empire building
with
game.
it. I'm familiar with it. It is a real-time strategy like Warcraft. Only it's represented by historical, nations that you're playing as.
Well, I got the War Chiefs extension of it because I like to play, of course, as the Indians who beat up on the white man.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of what I like, since I'm part Indian myself. But anyway, but it's a lot of fun. Hell, one day I might get on there and do that game. We'll see. But,
I'm having problems with 3. I do have Age of Empires 2. Something going on with the graphics processor. I mean, because they obviously did a definitive edition, but I could play the old ones.
Yeah, if your graphics processor is not, up to snuff or whatever, 3 does give you some problems, I think.
I'm using the newer version of 3 that was released in 2022 on Steam, so that's part of it.
Oh, Age of Empires on Steam? Is that Steam? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have the definitive edition for both 2 and 3, and 2 is great because they've added a whole bunch of new campaigns to 2.
Yeah. You know what would be cool? There is a game called, what the heck is this game where you stand up on the skyscraper and you walk out on this ledge? What is that game called? I can't remember now.
Are you talking about Beneath the Steel Sky?
No, Richie's Plank Experience.
Oh, Richie, sorry.
That would be wild to play in there, because I mean, now you probably wouldn't get the full effect of it, you know, kind of on the screen as you would if you're wearing like a VR.
Oh, is it a VR game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that it's not. It's never the same when you're watching on a
Yeah.
screen as if you've got it like experiencing it through the VR headset.
Well, they got one level to where it's not the top level where you walk out on that plank and you're up a, you know, I think it's like 100-story building or something like that, and you look down and it is, God, is it eerie. I got halfway out that plank and there was no freaking way I was going any further. You know, it's really awesome, you know, and I've seen people on YouTube, you know, they'll actually put like a board, you know, on the ground and put that thing on, and then of course they walk across that board. That simulates even more, you know, how that, because the board is a little bit wobbly and stuff like that, and people freak out and they just hug the board and stuff like that. It's really good, you know. But they do have a level just below that, which would probably be all right for the screen, to where basically you have these controls in your hand and you fly around putting out fires, you know, and you can go into a balloon and stuff like that. And it's not the same as the plank, you know, but it's fun, you know, that kind of thing. So anyway, we may play that game on here one time. I don't know. So, but if you want to join the network, certainly, you know, please do so. All you got to do is click on, doesn't cost anything. We don't, you know, we don't charge for this, you know, I mean, it's all free. You can get the free Discord service, and then you can get in the gaming network free. So, I mean, you don't have to pay anything. You just get on there and have fun. That's all it is. Anything else, guys? All right, well, let's get to it. I guess, you know, Mars Chronicles, you know, basically.
Oh yeah, I'll send the. I still have those presentations I made in PowerPoint, but I can get them converted to whatever is needed to present them. The mutants and video editing guides.
Oh, okay.
So send them to you, Creek. I can do that.
Yeah. By the way, let me say this before I welcome Maxie. Yeah, basically, you know, Chaos and I have both said that if anybody wants to get a kind of a quick tutorial or a little how-to or whatever, how to stream, how to edit videos or whatever, you know, we'll be willing to do it. You know, I'd do it, and I know Chaos says he'd do it. So, I mean, let us know, you know, just shoot us an email, or if you don't have our email, just, you know, send us a DM or something like that, and we'll schedule a time and get you in there, and we'll show you what to do, you know, and then you can start doing your thing for Alita kind of like we do. And having said that, welcome Max Jelly from north of Sydney, Australia.
Oh, God.
I felt like saying Mad Max for a minute, but yeah.
It's
Well, yeah,
it's better than some of the names I've been given over time, so I suppose I shouldn't complain.
Well, if we don't get some good pictures there in Austin, he will probably be Mad Max. So, you know, he'll probably, what's wrong with you, Creek and Vlotty and Alita Rave? Why didn't you guys get some pictures, you know, or something like that? So,
Oh, yeah. I want some pictures of those life-size Alita figures.
oh yeah, I haven't forgot that. We'll do that. I don't think they'll have any trouble with us taking a few photos. You know, sometimes you get on a studio like that and they'll make you sign an NDA or something like that, you know, sometimes. But yeah, I'm not sure that'll be the case here. And of course, as investors, they might give us a little leeway on that. So we'll see. But yeah, really looking forward to that. And yes, Maxie will get pictures and even video. You know, it'd be kind of neat to get a picture, a very short video of us shaking hands with Rob Rod or something like that. It'd be kind of cool, you know. And of course, if Rosa does happen to show up, which I don't think she is, you know, myself, because I mean, you know, she's a really busy lady. But if she does, we might get a quick video of her on that, you know, something very respectful, though, not a full-blown interview. That would be disrespectful, in my opinion, you know, if without asking her, you know. So we just get her to say hi, Alita Army, or something like that. You know, I think she'd do that, you know, happily, you know. But who knows, if she does show up, we'll get that video as well. Certainly you'll see the video of the three of us there. you know, and we'll take some shots, I guess, of the, if we can, you know, of Iron City, you know, that'd be kind of cool. Maybe even go inside the Kansas bar if they'll let us. You know, we're going to be there, you know, and just kind of, you know, just kind of do our thing there as they, you know, under their control. You know, we're not there to cause problems, obviously. So.
Make sure if you get to talk to Rob Rod that you have a photo of your Kansas bar handy, so you can say, "Hey, I liked your Kansas bar in the movie. I've got one too."
That is a great idea, Maxie. I will do that. You know, I'll turn it on. You know, turn the sign on and get a shot. You know, that kind of thing. You know, that'd be kind of neat. I think. You know, maybe that might impress him. You know,
I think so.
Yeah, especially if I tell him how much it cost me to get that sign made. You know, Windy City Smokers made that sign for me, you know, and he did a great job on that sign. God.
Yeah. Looks really good.
Yeah, that thing is wonderful, you know. I mean, Lee, you haven't seen that sign, have you?
I've seen the pictures. You've showed some photos of it.
Yeah, I think the only person that's seen it in real time or live, you know, or seen it in person is Do Not Stand By. You know, when we went to the Comic-Con a couple of years ago, I guess down in Colorado Springs, Do Not Stand By asked me if it was okay if he could come in and see it. Of course, my house is relatively clean, rather, for a single guy's house. So, you know, anyway, and I just had the maid service, you know, comes in and cleans it for me because I'm not good with housework. But anyway, that's another story. But anyway, I got a picture of him, you know, under the Kansas bar sign. That was pretty cool, you know. So, or I took a picture with his camera, you know. So he really enjoyed that. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, any further thoughts before we get into the manga?
Nope. Kick it off.
Cool. Okay, so we're now in volume 6 of the Mars Chronicles, and you know, if you remember from last time, you'll have to pardon me. I'm kind of struggling a little bit. My voice is trying to go into laryngitis a little bit. I was a little bit under the weather earlier in the week, so I'm still kind of halfway recovering from that. So just bear with me, you know, if I have to mute, you know, to clear my throat or something like that, you know, just hang in there with me. So if you remember from the last episode, Doss, and that's the guy you see there standing with the cowboy hat on and the pistol in his hand. His name is Doss. And that weird looking guy with the 6 legs, what's his name, Maxie? I can't remember. Lee, I can't remember.
No, I can't recall either.
Anyway, he got killed, I guess, and
yeah, he sacrificed himself trying to stop that bad guy that was after him.
Yeah, which was Gilliton. I remember that, so I remember his name. And of course, as it ended up, Doss was, you know, standing there facing down Gilliton, and that was the last frame, you know. So yeah, thanks, AKA. Yeah, that's it. Oh, let me get over here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, that's where it ended up. They were being chased by Gilliton, and you know, Doss was driving this car, I guess, and you know, Gilliton was chasing him with that weird looking, you know, kind of a chain, not a chain, but you know, some kind of whip kind of device he had that enabled him to do a lot of things. He could fight with it. He can you know, kind of go transport himself from place to place with it and stuff like that, you know. And of course, at the very end, he was facing down Gilliton, you know. So, and that was the last frame. So, but this is the cover of Mars Chronicles, Volume 6. And by the way, this is the cadenza version. So I don't think, is there a Viz version of this, Maxie? I don't remember. Of Mars Chronicle?
No, there isn't.
Yeah, it's just
by the time he was writing Mars Chronicle, he'd switched from Viz to Cadenza.
Okay. So anyway, there we are. There you see. I don't know who that guy is. You know, kind of walking Erica and Alita, or Yoko rather, up toward that, I guess that entrance way there. And there's that, I guess, a guy, you can see if you can see my cursor right here, this guy right here, he was some big deal guy there in Cydonia, I think is where it was. Now, we're not going to play that Elton John song, Rocket Man. That's going to be
Copyright.
Yeah, that'll get a copyright strike for me on that one. So anyway, there's the lead. So now you see, here we're picking up to where we left off last time. You see Das there is pointing his pistol at Gilliton. And of course, Gilliton's looking at Das, says, "You really think I'm that kind of man who would meet this end from some measly cowboy's pea shooter?" He said, "You should be smarter than that. You know your gun can't punch through my armor." And of course, he kind of thumps it with his thumb, tonk, tonk like that, just to kind of demonstrate, I guess, that his armor is, too potent for a bullet to penetrate it. And of course, Das says, "I still got to try. I ain't the type to just give up." So anyway, he fires his gun, blam, like that. And then, of course, Gilliton says, and now after the bullet hits him, it doesn't do anything. And he says, "And now let death be your teacher." And then Das has some kind of, what is that? It looks like
might be a gas can.
Yeah, gas can of some kind. Yeah, and he throws it, and then of course it's kind of heading over toward Gilliton. It's above his head.
I suspect it's explosive, whatever it is.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like. And of course, it says the liquid inside the container was antifreeze, ethylene glycol solution, which is kind of what we use in cars today, I guess, for antifreeze. When contained, antifreeze is guaranteed to remain liquid even at minus 50 degrees Celsius. So it's a pretty good liquid for that. And that's one of the things we put in our cars. If those of you that are in a place who have severe winters, you got to have antifreeze in there. If you don't, you run the risk of your engine block getting damaged, if you don't do that. So
yeah.
But anyway, that's what the antifreeze is. Because
won't it also like break your radiator when the ice crystals form?
Well, here's the thing: you don't want crystals to form in any of the moving parts. So antifreeze is I'm not sure if it still is ethylene glycol, a special type of alcohol. But you got to keep it contained because squirrels or raccoons, it sounds sweet. It's alcohol. So you have to keep the container shut, or the squirrels and raccoons will try to eat into the container and drink the stuff. It kills them too.
Yeah, it kills them dead. Of course, anything that kills you dead.
Well, I mean, this is more potent than ethyl alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah.
Much more potent.
Yeah. But anyway, the thing of it is too, Max, if you don't have antifreeze in your car, water expands when it freezes. So if your radiator is full, and if it's I don't know how full, if it's 90% full or whatever it is, and the water in it freezes, it could damage your radiator.
I believe I said that like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it says there, when contained, the antifreeze is guaranteed to remain liquid even at minus 50 degrees Celsius. But in the minus 40 degrees Celsius atmosphere, the liquid splattered, instantly turning to thick, clingy frost. And of course, it robs Gilliton of his vision, it says there, and he's as that stuff is on him, he says, "What?" And then I guess Das is saying, "The entire time we travel, we've been thinking about how I might be able to snap this guillotine belt, and you know what they say, always be prepared." So anyway, it looks like he fires some kind of projectile at him. And of course, it looks like it looks like it's got some kind of, some kind of chain or something on it, doesn't it? It looks like it goes around
Some kind of thin cable.
Yeah. And of course it's on a, some sort of pulley looking device there that DOS is holding, and it kind of goes around and around him there. And, it's kind of tying him up, it looks like. And then it's causing him some damage there. And Gilliton says, "You fool, you think you can tie me up with this cheap excuse for wire?" And then, of course, DOS says, "This is an FLSC." And I don't know what that is.
It's probably det cord.
Yeah. So it's explosive, no doubt. And there you go. Boom. Like that. So, and I guess that's the Japanese symbol for boom, or kabam, it says there, And then, of course, Gilliton, he's, I guess it doesn't damage him, but, he's looking out through that, through that fog, that antifreeze, is kind of, put around him. And it looks like it snapped, his, whatever that chain is there that goes, not chain, but whatever that thing he uses. It looks like it kind of broke it, I guess, Ah, there it is. FLSC, flexible linear shaped charge, is a specific kind of directional explosive used in the building demolition and special military operations. Whoa. It contains a V-shaped metal liner loaded with high power explosive. When detonated, the Newman effect of the linear products, a supersonic metal jet capable of instantly shearing through its target. And then, of course, Gilliton says, "My guillotine belt, where'd that little shit go to?" So in other words, I guess DOS fired that thing at him, and then he kind of disappeared. And then, of course, I don't know if he got behind him or wherever he did. He says, yeah, he got behind him. He says, "Sloppy as hell, Gilliton. So shall we find out how well my pea shooter works on you?" So anyway, that's not a pea shooter. It looks like it's probably a 45 caliber pistol of some sort.
I think more than that. He's pointing at a chink in the armor created by that det cord he fired.
Yeah, maybe bigger than that. Yeah, who knows? And then, of course, boom, like that. And, of course, he blows, the bullet, I guess, goes through Gilliton's head. I'd say that did the trick. DOS says, DOS is pretty smart. But now the bullet went through Gilliton, and then it didn't kill him, it looked like. And DOS is, now he's puzzled, he's confused. And then Gilliton turns around and hits him, knocking him off his feet. And then, of course, looking at the right over, see, I don't think it means anything. Now that they're kind of switching scenes here, I guess. Why would you want to raise a kid on Mars? Now, and this is where the Elton John thing comes in. And one of the thing, kind of a verse in the song, or in the verse in the song, it said, the song Rocket Man, it says, "Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kids. In fact, it's cold as hell," and of course, Mars is cold, as we know,
And the next line is, "And there ain't no one there to raise them if you did."
Yeah. Anyway, so why would you want to raise a kid on Mars? It's total bullshit. He said, "Remember what Elton John said." And there you have it. Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kids. It's cold.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I was actually reading Out of the Silent Planet, and it's a similar kind of weird dystopian Mars that people are colonized. I mean, Out of the Silent Planet was written in the 40s by C.S. Lewis, but it's kind of interesting how he set it all up with what they knew back then.
Yeah, for sure. And what's interesting about this, now remember, this is what, 200 years in the future, I guess.
Yeah. So is Out of the Silent Planet, actually. I mean, it's the whole retro-futuristic vision of it.
Yeah. And the thing of it is that, what I love about this is that people 200 years from now in this story still know songs or music from this era, you know, or like in the case of Elton John, this came out in the 70s. So it's, at this point, it's 50 years old. So I guess at this whole point right here, that song Rocket Man is 250 years old, and this guy Doss still knows it. You know, he knows of it at least. That guy who sang "Is There Life on Mars?" Close. That was David Bowie. So now there's another reference to another musician here. So I get the feeling that, you know, that I guess Koshiro really, you know, likes these two songs, I guess, you know, or likes the artists, Elton John and David Bowie. Now, David Bowie passed away a few years ago, but Elton John.
Also, he mentions in the manga, he mentions Alan Parsons and Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. You know, he must really like those bands and you know, and these artists, you know. Anyway,
the name Destinova comes from a Blue Oyster Cult song.
Ah, nice.
Well, yet that and Chaos plays Alan Parsons songs.
Oh wow.
He plays Eye in the Sky and 3 other songs by Alan Parsons.
Well, didn't Blue Oyster Cult? I don't know if it's Blue Oyster Cult. One of those bands did a song called Imaginos. I can't remember who it was now. Might have been Blue Oyster Cult. I'm not sure.
I will actually look up, like, see if someone did a thing of what Alan Parsons songs. I recognize 2 of them, but I'm not sure about the other one.
Yeah. Anyway, continuing. If anything here is bullshit, it's what you're doing, Doss. That's
okay,
Gillis.
I have the songs that Chaos plays. So he plays Inside Looking Out by Alan Parsons, also Sirius, Eye in the Sky, and Don't Answer Me. So those are the 4 songs from him that you see the lyrics of in the manga. Most of it's just Chaos playing it.
Eye in the Sky is basically Nova in the movie.
Yeah. That was a big song back when I was going to, I think it was in high school, or it might have been college, early college. I don't remember. That's too long ago, Maxie. So anyway, Gilliton says, would you light a campfire? And he says, you know, it does nothing for a cyborg. You're a cold man with no culture, Master Gilliton. If you don't want a hot cup of joe, you won't get one. So anyway, I don't know, they're just kind of fucking with each other, I guess. So anyway, to go back to the fight, Gilliton is kind of punched, you know, Doss, and he's hit the ground. He's still holding his pistol, obviously. Gilliton raises up, you know, he jumps up, he's going to punch him, I guess. And I'm not sure what's happening down here. This looks like maybe that piece of that guillotine belt, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, there's a commotion there. You see on the lower left panel. And I'm not sure this is Gilliton now is kind of standing over, or, you know, kind of, you know, on top of Doss there. And there you get that Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kids. In fact, it's cold as hell. So it looks like he's going to finish off Doss. And
it's a chainsaw in his arm.
Oh yeah, okay. Let me
that.
Oh, okay, yeah, off of Gilliton's arm, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kid. In fact, it's cold as hell. Looks like Doss is, you know, still got his pistol or something like that. And you know, I guess Gilliton's saying, if anything, here is bullshit. It's what you're doing, Doss. I know that. I ain't cut out to be a hero. But a grown man can't help himself. He's got to show off in front of the kids. So anyway, he's holding his hand up in front of Gilliton's face. Look, that bullet went right through his head. And I guess it didn't hit he's not a cyborg, because if you get shot through the head, you're done.
Well, the bullet may have missed most of the brain.
Yeah, maybe, you know, because he is wearing a helmet, isn't he?
I mean, if it didn't create a lot of hydrostatic shock when it passed by the brain,
Yeah,
it could be his life support system's just keeping him going after that.
yeah, it could be.
You do realize that the head is a massive target.
Yeah,
And if you've got stronger armor on your torso, that's where your brain probably should be.
yes,
And when you're a total replacement cyborg, you can put your brain wherever the fuck you want.
yeah, that's right. Well, anyway, Gilliton's on top of Doss, and Doss has got one last thing to do. He says, "A gift from me, my last bit of FLSC," and he looks like he's got a detonator in his hand, and boom, like this, and I guess I don't know if that's on top of Gilliton's head or not,
I put it right in his face.
Yeah. So anyway, it looks like now, Gilliton, top of his head's gone. So I don't think if the top of your head's gone, I don't care if you're a total replacement cyborg or not.
That's typically where your brain is. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you're pretty much done, I think. So anyway, there you see Gilliton now. Doss pushes him off. And of course, Doss is no worse for the wear himself, or no better for the wear or whatever. And he says, "Ha ha, that might have been a little close for comfort. Better get back. Those kids will be waiting and hungry." So anyway, he starts heading back, and he puts his hat on, which is all been blown to hell, I guess. And he starts walking back, and it looks like he thinks to himself, or maybe sings to himself, who knows. Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kids, but so what? Ain't none of us got a choice in where we were born, only the right to suck it up and get through it. So anyway, he's a pretty tough character, Doss is, isn't he? Now, you remember at the beginning of this whole thing, I guess he was like a bounty hunter, and he was trying to hunt Alita down, or Yoko down, wasn't he? But I guess he had a change of heart, maybe. Maybe he saw the kids and he got soft or something like that. And he wanted to protect them instead of, do them in, Maybe. I don't know. That's my take on it. I might be wrong about that. But
you want to be careful using that pistol again because the end's been cut off it.
Yeah, that's right. Might blow up in your hand.
What? Sorry, just for a bit. It's broken. Yeah, you don't try it with it's broken.
Yeah. Yeah, get a new pistol. That's the best thing to do, I guess. So, look at this chaos.
Well,
yeah, there you go.
You should probably get a revolver is generally best because you can look at it from the back without it pointing at you and see if the barrel's clear.
Yeah.
Well, Doss's gun got cut through by that chainsaw thing.
Yeah. So anyway, he's walking through this snowstorm on Mars, I guess, and then these three, aircraft or spacecraft or whatever they are, they have to be aircraft, I guess, kind of appear above him, and there's a guy looking out, one of the portholes, or port windows or whatever at him.
Right. So it's close enough.
Yeah. So Doss, now he's got half of his gun is blown away. So anyway, so it looks like he's gonna, I guess he's gonna shoot at that aircraft, that whatever that aircraft is. And as he's pointing at it, he says, "So go on, girls, get through it."
He's missing the barrel right there.
Yeah. So it has a picture of I'm gonna go ahead and call her the mama for now, and Erica and Yoko. He says, "Live to see the other side, Erica, Yoko." And then the looks like the aircraft has some guns underneath it, probably similar to anti-aircraft guns. And they start firing.
Opens up on him with a ball turret. Yeah.
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 And
like a train gun.
They kind of shoot him up, I guess. And of course his hat, goes flying in the air and lands on the ground, I guess. And that's it.
It looks similar to how the World War II bombers, where they had the bubble turrets on them. for their own defense.
Yeah. What's interesting about it, you bring that up, my uncle, my father's brother, he was actually a tail gunner on a B-17 during World War II. That was interesting. And a lot of times those guys didn't do so well, but he flew through the whole war, and he survived, so but anyway, that's it. I guess DOS, kind of,
chose to sacrifice himself to try to give them a chance to get free.
Yep.
From whoever it was that was looking for him. I've kind of forgotten. It's
now, in terms of DOS, I think there's a little surprise about him later on in the in the story here in the Mars Chronicle manga.
Mhm.
So anyway, he was real resourceful in killing Gillitan, because Gillitan was close to being indestructible. I guess his armor was
certainly heavily augmented.
Yeah, for sure, and then of course DOS kind of outfought him, and then blew the top of his head off
Mhm.
with that explosive material. There you see it, boom, or kabam. Yeah, I love that. A gift from me, my last bit of FLSC. Boy, the guy's a poet too, isn't he?
Mhm.
I know. He said, well, we say, if anything in here is bullshit, it's what you're doing, DOS. He said, I know that. I ain't cut out to be a hero. He was probably trying to hunt down Yoko, because of a bounty, and then had a change of heart or whatever. But he recognizes that he's not a hero, so looks like he's almost done for here,
Mhm.
So, and you see Gillitan has got that chainsaw thing going after him, that kind of thing. So,
A mounted, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, in Warhammer they have the Warhammer 40,000 or 40K. Chainsword.
Chainsword type weapons seem to be fairly common in a lot of these sci-fi these days.
Yeah, although they would be hardly practical, as it would be a lot heavier than just the blade.
Mhm.
Because you have a motor, and you have the whole chain on the thing without a lot of weight.
Yeah, I wonder if that was an inspiration, but maybe not. Might have been Mars Chronicles.
So Warhammer 40,000 has been around since 1987.
No, I mean for the movie Alita. I guess Stinger, had those two. Well, they weren't chainsaws; they were just
those are circular saws.
Right.
But
Warhammer has been around since 1987. The original fantasy was since 82. 40,000 has been around since 1987.
Yeah, that's a big thing with Henry Cavill too, and he's doing a movie.
Warhammer 40,000 also has the faction known as the Adeptus Mechanicus that originated from Mars as well.
And they're all cyborgs.
Yep.
Yes, they are.
They worship the machine god.
I guess DOS isn't a cyborg; he's just a meat boy, isn't he?
No, he's a cyborg.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
He's got something in the gun.
He's not nearly as heavily augmented as Gillitan there was, but he's a cyborg.
Looks like Kishiro likes underdog type cyborgs to take on powerful and nearly indestructible cyborgs to me, doesn't it?
It seems that way.
Yeah.
Well, his MC is the little girl, and Das is the little guy in this case.
Mm.
I don't know. DOS doesn't look that little. He's probably at least 6 feet tall.
Yeah, I think Gillitan is just really big.
Yeah, he's huge. Yeah. Maybe 7 feet tall or more. Yeah.
Have the hero taking on the overpowered, oversized villain sort of thing.
Flexible linear shaped charge. That's what the FLSC is. Boom. I love that. Yeah, DOS was pretty he was pretty resourceful. Looks like Gillitan underestimated him too, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Too confident in his own capabilities.
Yep. Got a little hubris going there, I guess.
Seems to be a common thing with a lot of Kashiro's antagonists.
Yeah, Grishko was he kind of was arrogant and kind of overconfident, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until the very end
And,
he realized, oh shit, I'm in over my head.
and Body was also highly arrogant.
Yeah.
You got numerous other antagonists in between that all ended up having various degrees of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Das. He's an okay character in my book.
Mm-hmm.
So there we see Guillotine coming after him, and got that guillotine, whatever.
So I was wrong about that can. It wasn't explosive. It was the opposite.
Yeah, it was. It just blinded him, I guess. It frosted up his visor, or his
His optics. Yeah,
his optics.
put a layer of ice over him so he couldn't see.
Yep. And allowed Doss to get behind him, I guess. So
No, he stayed in front of him, but it allowed him the chance to deploy that det cord without Guillotine being able to do anything about it because he couldn't see what he was doing.
Yeah. So yeah, but for that, but I mean, he did get behind him right here.
Oh yeah, after the det cord.
After the cord kind of got around, he wrapped around.
Softened him up a bit.
Yep. So shall we find out how well my pea shooter works on you? I love that. Boom. Yeah, there's that weird guy.
Mm-hmm.
Spider guy, yeah.
Galeppo?
Yeah, Galeppo, yeah.
Gaiopolo, I think, from what AKA was saying.
Guy,
Galeppo.
yeah.
Such weird names.
Mm.
Yeah, Guillotine thinks he has him. He thinks he's got him. You're mine now. Not quite. Boom.
Mm.
I love that.
Bold words for someone within det cord reach.
Yep. And now it looks like he lost his head over the whole fight, didn't he? If you'll pardon me.
Hey, you never want to lose your head in a stressful situation.
That's right. So anyway, he starts walking back to Erica and Yoko, and then of course these craft come above him, and he's going to try to shoot him with that pistol. It's a barrel.
Oh, I think he knew it wasn't going to do anything. I think he just decided to one last act of defiance.
Yeah.
He swapped to his backup weapon, which was much smaller.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was kind of like.
Yeah, he threw the damaged pistol into the snow and then pulls a holdout.
Yeah, that's what they used to call in the Old West the belly gun, because they'd have a gun in their back, in their belt behind them. A gunfighter would, and of course you would maybe disarm what you would think would disarm them, and they'd pull that second gun out, to shoot you if they were going to, So
I think he figured the weapons fire of them killing him would give a warning to the girls.
Yeah. Now hold this thought about DOS. I'm not going to give anything away, but hold your thought on that. So, but anyway, there's the last frame. Mm-hmm. Looks like a sketch that Kashiro did, just a doodle, kind of thing, which he does at each one of these Mars Chronicles stories. He does a little bit of a doodle out there at the end. So any thoughts, you guys?
Mm-hmm. Guess it'll be interesting to see what happens next.
You bet.
I'm not cut out to be a hero. Acts like a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
As he goes about doing heroic stuff.
Yes. Now, I like this story because I really like that character Doss. I even liked him when he was, at the point where he was a bounty hunter trying to hunt down Yoko. I thought, this guy's pretty cool. I thought he was a bad guy when I first read it, but he turned out to be a good guy at the end, didn't he? So,
Well, it's like Kishiro was saying, none of his characters are truly good or truly evil. They all have a bit of a mix in them.
yeah, it's not binary with him, is it? There's always those shades of gray, and everybody has.
It's not necessarily binary with real people either. I mean, you get the best person, put him in the worst situation, and it gets bad enough, they'll show a darker side of themselves. But even monsters have shown a kinder side on occasion.
Well, DOS was a bad guy, and he turned out that guy Aplo also was a kind of a bad guy, and he ended up helping him, so yeah.
Well, the whole thing is they're mercenaries. They do what they're paid to do.
Yeah.
And, they were paid to recover some kids. They didn't know if the kids were like, had been stolen and they were getting them back, or they were stealing them. They probably weren't given that information. Just go get them, bring them back.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't paid to kill them, was he? He was paid to get them. So primarily Yoko, I think, although I think Erica would have been a plus, I think. But yeah, he I guess he fell for him, So anyway, that's pretty cool. Any other thoughts?
I do have one thought that's related to Mars Chronicle. You know how the full set, Creaky and Angelus doesn't. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I appreciate that too, Jackson. Thank you for sending me that. Now, I haven't started reading it yet because I haven't read chapter 10 yet, or 10 yet. So
10, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read that yet. So I'm going to have to get that read, though, pretty fast because I want to be able to, kind of wail on Angelus,
For context, the listeners, our dear Angelus, who likes to be first in everything, has had his volume 11 from Angus and Robinson, so a different source than I got 2 of them from. He's had it delayed by yet another month. Their shipment hadn't come through, so
God, I need to read it within the next month. Volume 10.
You do.
Yeah.
In fact, it'd be better if you read in the next week.
Yeah, start reading.
Take it with you and read it on the plane or something.
Yeah, I could do something like that, But
because it's gonna cook his noodle if you read it before you get this.
Yeah, and maybe even start reading 11 by the time he gets it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you need to read 10 and 11. It probably only take you like 4 hours.
Yeah, I at least need to get 10 read. I think at the very least.
Well, you could read 10 on the way down and 11 on the way back.
Yeah, something like that. I could do that. So, absolutely.
Because I just want to see him. I want to see him do his Aunt Jelly about that. That would be fun.
Yeah. Oh, what is this? AKA says that he just ordered his volume 11 is due today. Excellent.
Nice.
Oh, at some point, Maxie, now I got your return address. I got to I'll reciprocate. So I'll figure out something.
All right. Well, if you can get me one of those brass knuckle mugs, that'd be all right.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get you and Angelus both the brass knuckle mug. So I got his address too. So that'll be pretty cool. Maybe, but you know what? I could buy him a brass knuckle jug and send it to him, and he still wouldn't get off my back about 10. He'd still.
No, he wouldn't.
That's just the way he is. He's an Aussie.
He goes on and on and on about State of Origin because Queensland won, and I'm like, I don't even follow it. There was a game. What?
Yes. Okay. Any other thoughts about this story?
Getting good.
Yeah, it's a good story. I really enjoy this particular story. I like that character Doss. He's real good. I think Kishiro does come up with some really good characters, doesn't he? I mean,
oh yeah, draws them real good too. Typically,
yeah, he does. And of course, my favorite character in all this, of course, is Alita. But
Mhm.
Doss is high on the list, in my opinion. You know,
Creaky, you say that, but then he comes up with characters like Rakan.
no. Rakan's not. He's not close.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He has his winners and he has Rakan.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the way Zazie dispatched him.
Oh yes.
It's kind of similar to what they did, how they dispatched Translucent in The Boys.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, one involved having a bomb inside of him and hitting the button.
Yeah.
A little more delay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you wouldn't have thought that Zazie would have had a chance against Rakan, would you? But wrong. She definitely did.
Another underdog.
Yes. Any other thoughts, guys?
I'm out.
Cool. Any other topics you want? This is going to be a short stream, I guess, tonight, so that's all right.
You've waxed lyrical about going to Brass Knuckle, haven't you?
Yeah, I could do that.
No, you haven't. You done that already? Wasn't that like?
Yeah, I did wax lyrical about it, but I could wax lyrical about that, or I could wax lyrical about Rosa, or I could any of these things if you guys want me to do it.
Dear. Once the stream's probably enough.
Yeah, I think so. You know, if Rosa ever does watch any of these streams, I hope I don't embarrass her too much. So you know. So anyway, but yeah, but the main thing is Disney. We want our sequels, damn it. Give it. Now I do have a thought though. Maybe it's not just Disney that's doing this. It might be there's maybe a little bit of a thing going on between Cameron and Disney. You know, maybe, you know, and I've just thought about it. One possibility is that maybe Cameron, you know, now I don't know if this is true. You know, I'm just kind of speculating here, but I would say that if Disney wanted to turn Alita into a Disney princess, I think Cameron wouldn't go for that. You know, I think he would oppose that a lot. You know, she's a princess, all right, but she's a battle angel princess. She's not a Disney princess. So, you know, that's what I think anyway.
If you ask Kishiro, she's a Ronin.
Yes.
A masterless samurai.
Yeah, she's a Ronin. That's exactly right. You know, a samurai without a clan, you know, although she does kind of have a clan. She's got Ito and, you know, and has had Hugo, and then of course eventually Figure 4 and so forth, you know. So maybe she's not a true Ronin because she does have somebody that cares about her, you know.
Well, yeah,
I'm pretty sure Den is a Ronin.
Yeah, he's a Ronin. Although he's leading a group, so I don't know. You know?
I'm pretty sure Den is.
But what you got to remember,
he doesn't really have a master.
He is the master.
Yeah, he is the master.
Yeah.
What you got to remember that there's two Alitas.
Yes.
Yep.
So you probably talking about Brain Alita, but Brain Chip Alita, she's very much a Ronin.
Yeah.
Well, being a Ronin doesn't mean you don't have family and friends. It just means you serve no lord.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she doesn't serve a master, does she?
Nope.
She is a
But
master.
yeah, the Brain Chip Alita doesn't even have necessarily friends and family from what we saw. I mean, she has a few friends, it looks like, but she's basically a Ronin and a lone wolf.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why Alita's our favorite character. She's not only got uwu, but she's a badass. So anyway, you know, of course, the uwu part's important to Angelus, but yeah. Well, I think he likes the fact that she's a badass too. I think so. Yeah. Any other thoughts, you guys?
I'm good.
Cool. Did we miss anything?
Nothing comes to mind here.
I don't think so. And as you can see from that center panel right there, Alita does love her Uncle Creek. And if you got a problem with that, you can take it up with her and face that plasma weapon.
No thanks.
Yeah, I don't think I'll do that. Because she loves her Uncle Creek because he wants a sequel. He wants more than one too. We want what, 8 guys, 8 sequels? That's what.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'd like them to get on with it because but if we work on a Gmo timeline, it could be not finished before all of us drop off the perch.
Yeah.
Time's a wasting.
That would be the one.
Well, if there's 8 sequels and it takes 10 years between each one, I don't know who will be doing them. But
the son of
whatever, and I guess Creek will be seeing the sequels through the eyes of the remainder of surviving Alita Army members.
Oh, by the way, were you aware that they launched a moon mission?
Yes,
recently.
Artemis 2.
There was very little
going to orbit. It's not going to land. It's going to orbit. Hopefully later ones do actually.
But there was very little in the way of any news coverage of it. I didn't hear about it until after they'd already gotten off the launch pad.
Oh, I've been following.
I was taking my oldest son to breakfast at the hotel. We saw it on ABC when we were walking down there.
Yeah, a friend of mine used to work for NASA. As a matter of fact, she was on TV being interviewed about it because she was one of the project managers for one of the aspects of the James Webb Space Telescope, and she's big into anything involving space exploration or space travel. So anyway, I've been following it from day one, waiting for it. And of course, Artemis 1 was the vehicle they shot around the moon, but it wasn't crewed. They were just seeing if it was feasible and would see how how the systems would hold up, I suppose, is what they were doing. But Artemis 2 is crewed. It's got 4 crew members, and they're doing cool stuff. And in some ways, it's similar to Apollo 8, but although I think this is much more advanced, than Apollo 8. But it's kind of similar in mission, I guess. It's almost like a proof of concept, I guess.
Yeah, Apollo 10 didn't land either, but they were carrying a landing module, and they were just testing the components of it in orbit before they came back.
So I think the next Artemis 3 is going to be just it's going to orbit the Earth, and they may have the lunar module on that. I'm not sure about that. And I think it's going to be Artemis 4 or maybe 5 that they actually land. But, the overall goal of Artemis is to not just land on the moon and come back. They want to start building, habitats there and build a city.
Yeah, they want to build a jumping off point so we can start going to Mars.
Yes. And what's cool about it is where they're landing. They're landing near the South Pole. And the reason why they're doing that is because the sun is going to be visible, from the spot they're going to land the entire time, so they can use photoelectric generated electricity,
constant solar power.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to be real cool. And I was watching a documentary on how they plan on building the material. They're going to take this lunar dust that's really fine dust, but they're going to turn it into a concrete kind of material by using lasers, to heat it and make it adhere to each other and build blocks out of it. And that's all going to be done by, robots are going to do that, so that's going to be pretty cool. So, maybe the human civilization is becoming more advanced, possibly. So that's pretty cool. And we won't become a multi-planet species at that point, but we will be on 2 planetary like bodies. So
remember when Elon convinced everybody that that SpaceX was going to get to the moon again before Artemis?
I don't know.
I remember him saying all kinds of stuff.
Well, I think his primary focus is Mars, isn't it? Elon.
Yeah,
Musk.
but part of that
I feel that there's
jumping off
something
the moon.
I feel it's something that provoked a response. Like the moon and other places could serve as, little outposts that help launch to elsewhere.
Yeah, you were saying, Max?
They were saying that SpaceX had been selected as one of the possible lunar landing modules.
Ah, okay.
But I don't think SpaceX has moved forward on the timeline that they were expecting. So it's probably off the table at this point.
Yeah.
Let's hope Boeing doesn't have a part in any of that contract.
Well, I was always disappointed back when I was a lot younger that they didn't continue, with what they did going to the moon. They could have.
Yeah. They used like modules from Apollo for Space Lab, but that wasn't anywhere close to the same thing.
Well, my thing is that even then, even as the technology being 50 years old now, that they were capable of doing some cool stuff on the moon, but they just didn't go back. I don't know if they didn't have the will, or maybe
it got too expensive, Creaky.
Yeah, and that's where the will came in. They didn't want to do it.
They got the PR win because Russia was kicking the US's ass as far as space exploration was concerned. They had three wins. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Not even that. It was also getting unmanned landing on the surface of Venus, which is where it's sulfur dioxide and a far higher density and pressure than the atmosphere on Earth has.
Yeah.
So Russia beat USSR beat America first orbital craft, first person in space,
Sputnik.
And so Sputnik, the first
complete orbit around the Earth too.
Yeah. So it got those three, and then America went, "Oh, hang on, we can't let them get all the wins. We're looking like chumps here." So they threw billions of dollars at it, like the amount of money that NASA had during the 60s was insane.
Yes.
They got their win going to the moon, and then they looked at how much it cost and went, "Well, shit, we can't keep this up."
Yeah, that's right. It's not sustainable.
And the interesting thing was that by the time they decided to start heading back to the moon again, like 10, 12 years ago, all the people who were involved were either retired or dead. Yeah. And there was a lot of generational knowledge lost, and they had to basically start again from scratch.
Well, they had some documentation, I'm sure, but they didn't have any teachers, did they?
There was actually components of the original Saturn V system that they could not reproduce.
Yeah.
The knowledge of how to build them was gone.
Yeah.
Well, they were so specialized that nobody'd made them in 50 years.
Well, I also think that the new SLS that they're using has 15% more power than the Saturn V had. So that's
not a huge surprise, though.
Yeah, a better rocket, I think. So I'm really psyched about this. I love space travel. That's one of the reasons I love Star Trek and Star Wars so much. Is because space travel. So. Pretty cool.
There was the new movie. There also was the new movie, Project Hail Mary. I thought it was all right.
Yeah. Well, I also love 2001: A Space Odyssey. I remember at the time
the movie had plenty of music in it.
Well, I thought at the time when I first saw it that I saw it back in 1969 or something like that, and they were saying 30 years we're going to be going around Jupiter. I said, even though I was pretty young at that point, I said, that seems a little aggressive to me,
Well, the whole thing was aggressive. It was 66 years between the first powered manned flight and landing on the moon. 66 years.
Exactly.
That was insane. They couldn't keep up that rate of progression.
Yeah.
It's too expensive.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, another thing too, Maxie, is that the Soviet Union actually had the first man in space too.
Yeah.
Yuri
I did
Gagarin,
mention that.
yes.
Yeah, he
I
ordered
did
it.
mention that.
There were also they also were the Lunokhod rovers, which were not manned, but the rovers, the unmanned rovers from the Soviets that had solar power, landed on the moon before any human did.
Yeah. So yeah, early on. They were kicking our butts in space travel. So
they just couldn't make their lunar launch vehicle work. It kept blowing up.
yeah, I didn't know if they knew how to control the power or whatever it was, but yeah.
Well, the US and Soviets had two completely different systems. The US had the 5-engine model, which if you lose one of those engines, you lost a fifth of your power, so that can be very troublesome. But the design of, I think it was the RS-1 was the code name for the Russian lunar launch vehicle. It had a very similar design to SpaceX's
Starship.
Well, not the Starship, but the bottom unit, the booster unit.
Yeah.
It's got 32 engines, and that's about the same number of engines. I think they had 28 engines on the RS-1, and they just couldn't get the technology stable enough.
Yeah.
And, back in those days, the engines didn't gimbal because that would have been just a bridge too far, but they just couldn't get them stable enough. When you've got 28 chances for something to go wrong, there's a good chance that something will go wrong, and they just kept having engines fail catastrophically every time.
Yeah.
Because they didn't quite have the build quality that they needed.
Yeah. So anyway, I encourage everybody to, kind of, go look at as a matter of fact, what I'll do after the stream here is I'll get the link to the NASA live feed, and I'll put that down in the description, and if you want to go look at it,
that'd be good.
Yeah, I'll do that, because I'm stoked about this. This is great, and I always thought, Elon Musk saying that, I want to go to Mars. I said, well, wait a minute. Why don't you go to the moon first? It's closer. You can maybe practice it, for lack of a better thought, and then use that as like a, kind of an intermediate spot, to launch, vehicles to the moon and so forth, And he kept talking Mars, and I'm going, our technology is a little far away from immediately going after Mars. Because remember, he said he was going to go to Mars by, what was it? This was back in 2022. I think he said he was going to go to Mars by 2025. Of course, now we passed that, and it was 2027, and it's 2030, and then 2033, stuff like that. So
let's stick to something a little closer first.
Yeah.
Get that out of the way, then work on the things further out.
Yeah, baby steps, Anyway. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll put the link to the NASA live feed. It's the feed directly from the spacecraft, so it's kind of cool. Now, you're not watching a movie here. You're not going to be entertained for hours. It's kind of, it can be a little dry, but if you love space travel, it's a cool thing, So anyway.
There are a bunch of YouTubers who are space nuts.
Yes.
And they sort of give you better sort of summarized coverage. So maybe you should check them out.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. Yep. Okay, I guess that's that. Maxie, you want to talk about this tomorrow?
Yeah, you didn't get my slide that I sent.
No, I haven't been on X yet, so I got on X very early this morning and got off because I had to work on stuff. So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I wanted to do the advertising, but the instance wasn't up, so that kind of put a crimp in my plans.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I got busy today. Usually I'd have the instance up by now, but I got busy. So I'll put the instance up after we get off the stream here. So
give me 1 second.
Yeah, if you can pull it up, I will do it that way, Maxie.
I don't know why this thing opens so wide. It's kind of weird. It's got a default which is really wide. There you go. Share that.
There we go.
So, as everybody knows, both Radio Chaos and the Alita Livestream like to do a manga episode at the same point in the month, which is the first episode of the month. And so these things we never talk about are very much monthly. Because we don't talk about a manga, do we, Ricky?
Alita's looking mighty bendy there.
Yep.
She is. But it's an imaginal body. It can do all sorts of shit.
Yeah, true.
So we will be covering Last Order Volume 1, Phase 3. It is not a robot.
Yeah. Is this this is a story where one of those kids say, "Are you a robot?" And she gets upset.
Oh, they keep trying to order her around like she's a robot.
Yeah, that's what it is.
She eventually pushes back, saying, "I'm not a robot."
Yeah. Although she is. Yeah, but she doesn't.
She just doesn't know it.
Or she's an android.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah. Not yet. Yeah.
All is it all androids are robots, but not all robots are androids?
Something like that.
I think that's how it goes.
Yeah, all
but anyway,
robots, not androids. That's right.
You don't. I will call Alita whatever she wants to be called because I don't want to piss her off.
Yes.
Put it that way.
Yes.
But yes, we left Alita hanging off the side of Zalem on a cable, and this is a sort of an artistical, stylized version of that Kishiro drew. I colorized it, but Kishiro drew this. So this is actually off the lead page of the chapter.
God, he's a good artist.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we left Alita hanging quite literally at the end of the last.
Oh, dad joke! Oh my God.
Well, I got to take over because Angelus isn't here. He usually provides the dad jokes.
Well, Angelus is not a dad as far as he knows. So,
as far as he knows, he could have had a drunken night. You just don't know.
Yeah, you never know about these things.
But anyway, Alita is hanging off the side of Salem. She's just had a fight with some sort of robot defensive unit. What's the old saying? Everything's not right in Belgium.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's a case of everything's not right in Zalem. So we're this chapter we'll be finding out what the heck is going on. I know what's going on. I've read it many times, but if you haven't read it yet, we will find out just what the heck is up in Zalem these days, or Salem, or Tafaris, depending on which version you're reading.
Yeah.
Oh, to answer Finn's thing, android is a artificial construct, basically like a humanoid robot.
Yeah.
And a cyborg is a augmented organism.
Yes. Cybernetic organism. Yes.
Yeah, it's where the cybernetics are. The cybernetics are the augmentations.
Yep.
Got to keep reminding people of these things. Definitions are important. So yeah, that will be tomorrow, 23 hours before this stream starts. Now, if you're in the lower part of Eastern Australia, please be reminded that daylight savings finishes. That is you, aka. So it will be occurring an hour earlier on our clocks than it has been.
Mm-hmm.
And I double checked all that, so I know I'm right. Bloody time zones.
Yes.
So you'll see that AEDT has been removed from the list of time zones on there, and it's now AEST only.
Yeah. And for Angelus, it's always been AEST.
Yes, because Queensland said, "Fuck you, we're not doing it."
Well, you know how things are in Queensland.
Yes, I do. They like to get up at like 4 a.m. in the middle of summer and go running on the beach, the crazy bastards.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So yeah,
right.
that's the size of it. So hopefully we'll see you all there tomorrow for another awesome reading of Last Order, the second series in the Alita multiverse universe, Alitaverse, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Okay, so anyway, here's our queen, and of course, she is #1 in the Creeks book in terms of being an actor. I mean, she is magnificent. And yes, Maxie, I am going to wax lyrical just a little bit here, but yeah, she did it. We are really fortunate that Robert Rodriguez selected her to play Alita. You know, because she is awesome. You know, I mean, when I went to see her in Cyrano de Bergerac in Pasadena, she was awesome in that thing. And then we went to see her at you know, play I can't remember the character's name now, but in High Noon there, Harold Pinter Theater, she was awesome in that. And to my mind, now I'm biased, but to my mind, her character was the most interesting because you didn't get the full story of her character until toward the end of the play, you know, because she's, you know, she owns a bar and you know, she's, you know, a lot of guys know her, you know, in the town, I guess. So, you know, she's quite a character in that play, you know, but she did an awesome job. And of course, she was so nice to us when we came out there. You know, she talked to us for maybe 15 minutes. I don't know, you know, something like that. So, but we loved her to death. You know, she was super, you know. So anyway, I'll get off of that now. I also want to give a shout out to El Lamont and Jesse Fisher because they brought Screwhead to life. And, you know, what I want to see is I want to see Alita and Screwhead team up, you know, and take on Joshigan and Alita too. So that would be kind of a neat thing, I think, you know, because Screwhead can play rollerball. Now, of course, Screwhead was trying to play murder ball, but she can play motorball, you know. And of course, I think as Elle said, you know, that, you know, basically Screwhead's pissed off for being, I guess, conned by Vector. And she's just kind of irritated about the whole thing. And she goes to Alita and say, "Hey, I'm with you, girl. Let's just burn all down." Which she said, I just love that, you know. And of course, Elle did a great job as Screwhead. And of course, Jessie Fisher, you know, as Elle said, is the most badass stunt woman she ever worked with. So yeah, we were fortunate all three of these ladies were in the movie, you know, for sure. So we want to see them, Disney. You know, we want to see them in the as a matter of fact, that's an idea. If the opportunity presents itself, I might maybe say something to Robert Rodriguez when I'm there. Not that he would ever listen to me, but I'll say, "Hey, if you can, please bring Screwhead back in Alita too." You know, I might do something like that if I can, you know. But anyway, I want to see all three of them in the sequel, that's for sure. And if you want to kind of join us after the you know, after the stream here, I'm putting the link in the chat, and there it is right there. Just click on it. You'll go into backstage when you click on it, and I won't bring you in until after the stream is done. And this part of now this is going to be the same instance as we're on now, but it won't be streamed. It'll be after the stream is over. And so if you're a little concerned about being on, you know, where the internet can see you and stuff like that, don't worry about that. It'll just be us, you know, and we don't bite, you know. We would love to hear from you if you want to come on, and you know, we talk about all kind of things. A lot of times what happens is that Maxie and Lee talk about author things, you know, because they're authors, you know. So but we do stuff like we'll show maybe videos, and we'll display pictures and just have a good old time chatting and stuff like that. Now, we don't drink beer, you know, although we could one day, and we probably will when they greenlight the sequel. We'll probably drink beer and Kraken and Coke, I think. You know, and we'll do that at both the after parties, you know, for both this stream and the Radio Chaos stream. So if you want, click on that link. I'll bring you in after the stream is over.
I think we should have a 24-hour live stream across as many channels as we can swing it. So like 4 or 5 hours on one, and then switch to another and keep going for 24 hours and just all get absolutely hammered.
Well, Maxie, you and Angelus are going to have to learn how to, know how to do this, Maxie, how to run a stream. You know how to do that, or at least you did. In episode 1, you did anyway. So yeah, because the creek's not going to be able to stay up for 24 hours straight.
You do not know this. You might be so goddamn excited you can't sleep.
Could be. Yeah, I might be able to do it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because I will be excited. That's for sure. So.
But I'll have to drag Chaos into it and whoever else live streams.
Yeah, that's
with the Alita.
Chaos can run a stream. He knows how to do it. So he does stream. Yeah,
I mean, cool. I have a different time when I do it. So.
Yeah, but we'll figure it out because it's going to happen. We will get our sequel. I am extremely confident of that. So we'll leave it at that. We are the Alita Army. We are advocates for Alita, and we support Alita and Rosa Salazar passionately and positively. We are here to stay, and we're going to continue doing what we're doing on both this stream and on the Radio Chaos stream. And I'm sure Chaos and other Alita Army members, myself included, are going to continue to do videos and continue to do our thing until we get that sequel. And you know what? Even then, we're probably not going to stop. I know I'm not. I'm going to keep doing videos and streams until I get that third Alita sequel or Alita 3, and then I won't stop then, So anyway, we're fighting hard for this sequel. We want it. So give it to us, Disney. We will gladly turn our money over to you, and we will the dollars and the pounds and the euros and the pesos and the yen and all that stuff is all going to jump right out of our wallets and pocketbooks into your coffers. We want merch. Certainly we want sequels. We want merch. We want games. We want all kinds of cool stuff. We want more anime. We want more, live action, kind of series, all that good stuff. That's what we want. And video
games.
We will make money on this. You will make tons of money. Why is this image here? Well, that image is there because I like it. And to paraphrase Gruishka, I'm only here for our girl and our queen and the Alita Army. And that leaves us with just one thing left to do, and that would be the call to action on my count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Baby.
All right, so we will see you tomorrow on Radio Chaos for the manga reading, and we will see you next week. Well, we won't see you next week on the Alita live stream because I'll be flying to Austin, but we will have a replay of another Alita live stream. So see ya.
Yep, take care, guys.
Bye.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita live stream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.
No cause is lost, if there is but one fool left to fight for it.
Yeah, Gary, that'd be nice.